All right, guys, if you haven't seen my Instagram lately, I did hire a new stylist. This is B. What do you want to go by, B?
Yeah,
we call her Biddy, but apparently that's an old nickname, so we're gonna switch to B. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna kind of pick her brain. We're gonna cut her sides down. She's got her side shapes, so we're gonna cut them down and just kind of see what it's like being a female in this barber world. So B just started at the shop. How long you been here? 3 weeks?
yeah.
I'll let her kind of tell her story, but she actually came from Sports Clips, wasn't thriving in that environment. And so you guys know that the shop is growing and constantly, unfortunately, fortunately, we always need more help. So we kind of just end up reaching out. I don't remember, I think I wanted to cut her hair actually, which is ironic, but that's what we're doing now. But I was like, hey, you should let me cut your hair for a video. And then that turned into talking about kind of where she was at in her career. And now she's here. So how long you been in the beauty industry?
I grew up in the beauty industry, so I've been with my grandma in her shop since I was little.
She's a Cosmo?
Yeah. She's a Cosmo. I have 2 aunts, and then my father's also a cosmetologist as well. So it's just like in the family. That's all I've ever wanted to do.
So you knew for a while?
Oh yeah, even whenever I was like right out of high school, knowing that I couldn't get into cosmetology school yet, I still went into like places like Sally Beauty Supply or whatever.
So you worked at Sally?
Yeah.
I don't even go out there a lot, but I feel like I do remember seeing you in there.
Yeah, anything that I could do to kind of like educate myself and prepare myself. Yeah, absolutely.
So then when did you go to school?
I went to school about 2 years ago.
Okay.
It's coming up on 2 years now.
And guys, we stole her from Sports Clips.
It's facts.
So I was working at Sports Clips. In the barber game, we tend to knock Sports Clips pretty bad.
Yeah.
But like for what it is, I feel like, you know, it does the job of what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, I think that they have a lot of opportunities, especially if you're just starting out. I think that was like my biggest thing. I knew that I like wanted to get into like catering to more like male clientele or short haircuts. So I like started out there. It was also like right after the pandemic too. So I was kind of like, this is a small town. Like I'm not confident enough to like go completely different.
Yeah.
So I kind of just went in there and did my thing. I ended up getting a management like position pretty early. It was okay. It's not what I wanted long term. I wanted to get into education since the get-go, and if you form bad habits, which is almost inevitable because you have to move so quickly, it's not going to help me in the future. So
it was a safe spot to start.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, you got some like clientele that the business has.
Yes.
And like you said, like during the pandemic, obviously, like, you know, we barely made it through as a barbershop.
Right.
Yeah, and then like they have you may have left and people came with you, but there's probably people that are still gonna go there just because that's where they go.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's a safe spot, but for those of you who don't know, like they make you, what, 15 minutes is your time limit?
It's 17 to 22.
17 to 22 minutes. So, you know, in the barber world, we all do different lengths and things like that. But, you know, I do 45 minute to an hour appointments. You know, it's art to me. I want to spend time in detail, and which, you know, when you came over here, that's one of the first things we talked about was you weren't being fulfilled by rushing through haircuts.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt very like stagnant, very uninspired. And not only that too, but I wasn't getting the type of clientele that I wanted either, because I've already perfected, you know, I feel like a 1 to 2 on the side, and a scissor cut on top, you know? So it's kind of...
Is that like pretty much what you did all the time?
Yeah.
Pretty basic? Yeah. So we even talked about, you know, initially when you came over here, like being that's what you were doing. And again, like just how it rolls, barbers always go back to like making fun of Sports Clips or whatever, but you know, you coming over here, you kind of just continued on with what you knew, with what you've been doing, and just a few slight adjustments to, you know, jokingly we would say, like, if you come to Klutch and get your hair cut, you know, it's not the cut you would get at Sports Clips. So kind of ironic you come over, and you know, naturally there was a few things that just were the way that you did it, or maybe all that you knew. You know, I think one thing I've been stoked about having you is just how open to open to learn and adjust, and like you're like, hell, I want to be as good as I can. So if there's a better way, or if doing it this way looks better, you know, I want to do that. I just only know what I know, like up until this point. So, you know, you've been super willing to learn and open, and of course, you know, I more or less teach for a living now. So I'm stoked to be able to. Just told Leah last night, like, it's cool how open you are to that, and like I feel like we're gonna see you go from like, not that you were bad, but like you're gonna. I feel like in a small amount of time you're gonna be like tearing it up. Like you've already been busy. So what, like, have you noticed any major notices? Like, of course, this video is like female in the barbershop, but technically you're not a barber, you're a stylist, but now you're in full-on barbershop. So have you noticed any differences? Obviously, Sports Clips is they're kind of marketed. A lot of people think it is a barbershop.
Yeah.
And it's really not. But have you noticed anything different, good or bad, adjustments?
I think that, especially just because like the length of time that you spend with your clients is like lengthened. Dude, like your clients come in and they're like so happy to see you, and you like know their kids' names, and like you make that time to like have actual connections with people. And like, although I love cutting hair. I love it. I think it's an art form, and it's great. But also separately, I'm a people person. Yeah. So
it's the best of both.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that just seeing people come in and they're like, I don't know, just happy to see you guys. I think that's the difference. It's almost like whenever people were walking over there, they're like pissed already.
Did you have like
wait for 30 minutes to get a haircut? You know?
Did you have? Like, could people just wait on you, or did they have to go to like whoever was next up?
Yeah, people could just wait on me.
Okay, so they could at least, if you had a clientele, they could at least pick you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know how that works. If it just like went to the next person that was. So. That's good.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I was up to maybe about a 35% request rate whenever I got in there. So like there would be days where I would have like 8 or 9 requests that I would have to like try to fit in. You don't keep the same momentum the entire day.
Yeah.
Like say I have a headache, it doesn't matter. Like I'm still gonna have to like perform the way that I performed yesterday, because that's how the system is set up. So they time you. They basically like record your times. And,
I'd be fired.
Yeah. So they can request me. It's just like, hey, you're gonna have to give me a minute, because I'm still working on this haircut, and I refuse to put out that cut. I'm gonna give it my all every single time.
That's probably the hardest part of that. Yeah, I mean, that's literally what you told me was
I'm not making any money because I don't want to like conform.
I'm not able to like work that pace. Like I wouldn't either. Like that's definitely not my style.
Especially with me wanting to go into education, I think that it was really important for me. I saw a video the other day that said like, I don't care about like moving fast. I care about moving correctly.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. That's strong. I'm gonna have to leave that in there.
Yeah.
So, obviously I already know the answer to this question, but who are some stylists or barbers that you like? Either you just like what they do, or like haircut wise, or other things? I obviously know one is Sophie.
Yes. Man, I think it was like 360 Jeezy was like one of the first people that I like watched on YouTube.
He's wild.
360 Jeezy.
Yeah, so I still follow him, and I've been like just every single day checking out Sophie's stuff. I think that she's a super inspirational person, and I love her style and how she carries herself. It's just really awesome, so checking her out.
Yeah, one thing that's been interesting as I've grown, and people ask this on my channel a bunch, but like biggest, you know, I'm talking about even outside of like us knowing her, like there's a few people who are actually known either through TikTok or whatever their avenue is, that are like, you know, big time, right? So, and a lot of people outside of our industry would laugh like, well, they're still just barbers, you know, but like people, they made a name for themselves. And I think Sophie's probably, for being as big as she is, probably still the coolest, and I'm not gonna mention any names, but there's definitely a few people that, you know, now that I've made a name for myself, there's people that now that I'm there acknowledge me now that didn't before, which is kind of funny, you know, and I could act some type of way about it, but I'll just kind of say what's up and let it be okay, you know. But there's also people that I've met that still think they're just too cool, you know, and I would say like Sophie, for the level of what she's doing, probably could be like that. And I was telling you, you know, she interviewed me at Chicago, and it was super cool, super short, but super cool. But yeah, so
she's really tiny, isn't she?
She's really tiny. Way smaller than I thought before I met her in person. But so yeah, I know you've talked about like part of why you really rock with her is just her kind of her mindset and the kind of content she posts that's really trying to uplift everybody else. And I know that's kind of along the lines of what you're wanting to do. So you mentioned wanting to kind of do some YouTube. So what are you thinking about that?
I'm excited. I think that it'll be different. I have a lot of like social media anxiety, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like, you know, if you're gonna, this is what you want, then you're gonna have to make adjustments. So you have to kind of work and grow on yourself and like work to improve the things that you're afraid of.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, just a tip as you get into it. And I tell a lot of people this, like, I'll go home, I might go home in this video, just one of the angles was wrong, or like the haircut didn't turn out how I wanted it, or you know, whatever it is, and only I know what the end goal is, and I'll go home with like literally something I hate. Say it's like Wednesday, I always put videos out, I never miss, and I'm getting ready to post it, and it's like a video that I hate. I'll post it, you know, kind of what you're saying, like that anxiety about what you're putting out. I will get nothing but positive comments, and say it's a haircut and I think it's terrible, it's just not what, you know, not something I'm proud of, you know, I'll get nothing but positive comments, and, you know, say it's this, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if there's enough meat in this video for people to really mess with, and then we might get 5 comments saying, you know, man, I love this type of content, you know, it's super cool, you should interview all your other barbers, like, and so it always kind of,
if you can inspire like one person, that's it.
We talked about that.
Yeah, if you can inspire or teach one person or give somebody advice that gets them through their day or like whatever, that's what it's really about. Like that's what keeps me going.
When can we expect a new video, a first video on the YouTube channel?
Let's say a week.
A week?
Let's do it in a week.
So you heard it, guys.
Post it.
Are you going to, so her Instagram is Bewitched with B, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your YouTube channel gonna be?
I'll probably put it under the
same
same tag. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that'd be
So we're gonna revisit it. Where's the camera? We're gonna revisit it, but you guys go follow her on Instagram. I'm gonna put it on the screen, and stay tuned for the YouTube. If you do a YouTube, maybe you're gonna cut my hair from my channel, but maybe you can cut it, and I'll let you have the footage, and you can put it on your channel too.
Yeah.
And then I'll send everybody that way. So, guys, stay on the lookout for it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You guys know what to do. Smash that thumbs up if you liked it. Go follow B, and stay tuned. She's gonna be in a lot more content. Maybe we'll get her to like shave the whole side of her head and do a design, or she wanted some bangs, so maybe I'll have to give her bangs. But anyway, guys, appreciate you watching. Catch you next time.
Vamos.